Okay, I would now like to invite Georgios Taniskidis, the chairman of Optima Bank, to come to the stage and give us his point of view on all of this. Georgios, over to you.
Καλησπέρα σας. Είναι πάντα ωραίο να παρευρίσκεται κάποιος σε ένα συνέδριο του Economist. Δεν είναι πολύ ωραίο να είναι Παρασκευή βράδυ. Όπως μου ζητήθηκε, θα μιλήσω στα αγγλικά. I'll be very brief, and as you can see, we are really optimistic about next year. And why? Because, as you can see, in 2021, we had an amazing GDP growth, 8.4%, compared to EU, which had 5.4%. Same holds true for 2022, where it seems, actually the minister before said that it will be 5.6. Our estimates is that it will be 5.5, but it is an amazing growth as well. And we are also optimistic about 2023, where we believe that 1.7 compared to 0.3 of European Union is also a great result. As you can see, also the absolute terms, 181 billion euros is our GDP in 2021, 191 billion euros in 2022, and we believe that we're going to have a further growth into 194 billion euros in 2023. The amazing thing is that this year, the nominal GDP equals for the first time our GDP of 2011. So after 12 years, in nominal terms, we are back on track. And I have one more slide. This is Optima Bank. Optima Bank is riding on this wave. In other words, we started in 2020 and we have 752 million in deposits. We went to 1.3 billion in 2021, and we're closing the year with 2,176,000,000. And loans, 400 in 2020, 1,026,000,000 in 2021, and over 1.7 in 2022. We are extremely proud for this achievement, but we are more proud of the fact that we have, in essence, no non-performing loans. And as you can see, profitability-wise, we managed to over than double our profitability this year. When you go back home tonight, I would like you to keep in mind only one thing. This is a book that I wrote. It's a one-page book. It is the story of Greece, political and economic. Here we are, 250 billion loans and 233 billion in deposits. But in April, I believe it was April 23rd, it happens to remember, for me to remember the date because it's my name day. The then Prime Minister from the island of Castellorizo said that we are bust. And what happened is simple. Money flew to better refuges. And we had an amazing exodus of deposits out of the country, under the mattresses, what have you. And then we had an amazing gap between loans and deposits. We had a stable government in 2012. Some money started pouring in again. So from 80, we went down to 50 billion euros gap. But then again, we had elections, and then an amazing exodus again, from 163 in almost 5 months, we went to 120. And of course, the then government didn't have any other option other than capital controls. And since then, we moved better, and finally, in 2020, for the first time again, we had, after I believe 2002, for the first time, deposits surpassing loans. As you can see, 142 billion in loans and 151 in deposits. And since then, we are moving much, much better. And actually, today, about 3 hours ago, the Bank of Greece published even promising figures. We have now 188.7 billion euros in deposits and 115.1 billion euros in loans. So we have a surplus of around 73.6 billion, which makes me think that now nobody can say that λεφτά δεν υπάρχουν. So I believe that this ample liquidity that the banks have is a very, very promising element for the economy in the year to come.
Thank you. Thank you. That last chart was a beautiful example of what we try to do at The Economist, which is tell the whole story in one chart. It tells an optimistic picture. Does that mean that of the two views that we heard before, you're more inclined to agree with the optimism of Minister Stachouras?
To tell you the truth, I'm an optimistic person myself.
The name of your bank says so.
True. But also, I believe that the past guarantees the future. So yes, I believe that we have made a very big effort up till now, and I hope that this journey will continue.
One of the things that both of our previous speakers said they were worried about was private debt. Is it just the case that your bank doesn't have a problem with non-performing loans, or are you, and that everybody else does, or are they overstating the risk there? Because those figures you showed us did seem to paint a more optimistic picture.
Okay. It is true that Optima Bank does not have anything to do with non-performing loans. However, I want to state that the Greek banking sector is in much better position today than it was, let's say, in 2016. In 2016, if I recall, 50% of the loans were non-performing. We had, I believe, around 111.3 billion loans in arrears. Non-performing, actually. This figure today, it is in the area of 10.9 billion euros. So from 111, we went to 11. And it represents around 7.1% of the total loan portfolio. I really believe that the Greek banks have made a tremendous effort, and I believe that now they can really face the future with optimism.
Okay, and one final question about the future and the optimism. Your chart showed very clearly where the changes of government were and where the periods of crisis were. We've got elections coming up. Are you optimistic that this optimism will continue for the rest of this year, regardless of the outcome of the election?
I have to tell you that it's very surprising that we have chosen an electoral system by which we almost guarantee that we're not going to have a stable government coming out of the first elections. I believe that the business community hopes that after the second election, hopefully, if I take Mr. Katrini's comment into account, hopefully even after the first election, I would like to see a stable government in my country. I would like to see things moving again, and I would like this uncertainty that lies among us today to go away.
Okay, uncertainty is the enemy. Got it. Thank you very much. Georgios Taniskidis, thank you very much.